So I have a problem that I just can't seem to break, and it's affecting my gameplay every single game. Now, I don't want to brag, but I probably am one of the best players out there. If you were to go and group everybody that was 41, had glasses, and was a little bit overweight and starting to lose their hair, I'd probably be sitting in the top 5. But even with my mad skills, there's still some errors in my gameplay, and it's really screwing me up. So just like every other day, I come home, I have my glass of chocolate milk, and I sit on the couch, load up squad busters, and go in. And I have a pretty good routine. I've talked about this before. Usually pick a damage dealer, go for the first blue box, and then I work my way towards the middle and start collecting as many as I can to really stock up on my boots. But my problem usually starts when I'm in that middle and I see that first bot just slowly walking in like, hey, there's nothing going on here. I'm perfectly safe. And this is where I go and say, hey, I'm gonna absolutely crush this one. And I do. I end up crushing, I get a key, and then all of a sudden I usually see another player out there. And that's where I'm like, oh, here we go. The dopamine's flowing from the first one. I feel like I have to start going around and just shutting every single player down. Now, by the time I wreck the third player, I'm usually in a drunken frenzy where like, oh, this is great, the adrenaline's pumping, and I can't stop myself from chasing or even just going and getting into situations of bad fights. Now, like I said, my strategy is pretty good, and I usually end up sitting in the top 5, but I'll actually get myself into first place, and I'll still find that from time to time again, I'm just like, oh, let's just go and hurt this person, and I usually end up getting ranked down to maybe like 2nd or 3rd. Now, a key point of all of this, which I forgot to mention, is before I go in and start playing, I usually say to myself mentally, I'm gonna play smart, we're gonna be efficient, and we're gonna have a good solid game. Maybe not those exact words, but that's kind of the thought process going in my head. I'm gonna do good, I'm gonna play good, and then next thing you know, that frenzy kicks over, and I'm just like, I gotta wreck them all. Now, for most of you, you're probably listening to this and just say, Pick, just stop doing it. And this is where I go and I see myself doing it while I'm playing the game, and I know I'm doing it, I just can't stop doing it. And I'll go and carry this over to the next day and say, hey, yesterday was a bad idea, don't do that again, but yet I still find myself getting into these situations. It's like my brain knows what to do and what I should be doing, but my body just says, hey, this is so much fun destroying other players, I'm just gonna keep on doing it. Now, there have been some extreme cases of this where I end up going and attacking somebody and I get busted early on in the game, usually sitting at like 8th or 9th place, and that's usually left with me going, that was stupid, don't do that again, but all I'm really looking for is a win in the next game, and then that gets blown right out of my mind. I mean, yes, I have tried other strategies of picking the farmer first, kind of just hanging out in my quarter where I first start off, and even times of just grabbing Mavis, I'm going to go after carrots, but time after time, my brain slowly passed back to this way of wanting to go and destroy. It's the same thing with the boots for me too. I said, you know what, I'm not going to go and run everywhere, I'm going to walk, but then I go and I get a couple of hog riders, and next thing you know, I'm running out of turbos again. So I guess my question is there anybody else that suffers from the same issue that I do? Yeah, I'm sure there's people that love busting other people, and even some that probably lose, but do you find yourself repeating the same bad habit over and over again? I guess let me know in the comments below if you want to know if possible changes might be coming to the bounty. Take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.